Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. This is the indicators analysis for Bitcoin. We're gonna see how Bitcoin is working with the indicators, and of course based on Elliott wave. Does those indicators confirm our scenarios here, which are mostly a bearish scenario right now on the horizon, where we see a 1-2 and another 1-2 and a potentially another 1-2, and we might see of course a major wave 3 it downs and downward, of course, that it might unfold for a wave C here in a potential big ABC expanding flat, which we are looking after. Of course, our wave 1 finished for our bull run. Here we have an A, B, and a C potentially that it might unfold, of course, around the 1.618, 67, and 75,000 for a Bitcoin. This bear market can be, of course, an expanding flat, which is a very rare case scenario for Bitcoin, where all the bear market were basically very sharp zigzag downward. But currently, we see something very special for this bull run, which is an expanding flat, giving an opportunity for new highs and having an A, B, and a C, of course, as a bear market. Well, we need this bear market because we need a correction at the end. We cannot move, of course, after a very huge impulse from the 15K to the 110K and even higher, getting, of course, higher. That is due, of course, to the bullish influence on the Bitcoin chart here. But we got, of course, an expanding flat with new highs. And that because, of course, we didn't see any 5 waves finishing up over there for the bull run. And this has turned, of course, into 3 waves, where you have 3 waves down and you're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 towards the downside. So let's see internally as well, and of course, based on this scenario, how the indicators works exactly with it. We're gonna start with the 1 hours for the RSI. So for the RSI on the 1 hour chart here, we can see after this several 1-2s here potentially, we have kind of like a bullish divergence that we can see exactly over there on the 1 hour chart, giving a little bit of higher prices here, which it might be anyway, our wave 2 here, and then continuation toward the downside once we reach, of course, the overbought area. And that means, of course, you might still be in this scenario as a 1-2 and then continuation towards the downside. Now, if we see higher prices than this, and we see, of course, a very deep wave 2 toward the upside, this might be a full leading diagonal, 5 waves down as a wave 1. You get, of course, an ABC wave 2, and then we drop down, of course, massively for wave 3 later on. So for this, we need, of course, to check a little bit much bigger or time frame here for our chart. For example, we can see also we have a clear divergence as well. For the bullish here, you might have, of course, a bullish divergence. This is the first one starting from there. We saw, of course, a little bit higher prices, then, of course, moving down again, creating another divergence for the bullish here, and we see, of course, again higher prices. So I'm expecting a little bit, yes, higher prices for Bitcoin. It might be here playing the wave 2, the bigger one, as of course big wave 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 towards the downside, very likely as well in this chart here on the 4 hours. On the daily, for the daily, we can see that it is, of course, here the opposite. We see, of course, a bearish convergence or divergence, I would say, in the top here, that you can see, of course, a big pressure from the bears here coming in. And we see, of course, continuation toward the downside. Currently, we don't see any kind of divergence for the bulls. But if you want to take this one here, you can have kind of like, yeah, but it still can have a little bit lower prices here. It's not really yet a strong divergence, but it can be playing. I believe that it would be better if it takes, of course, the oversold area. Once taking the oversold area, and if the price here stays above this low here, meaning if we dive deeper and we take the oversold area here, we might get a very clearer divergence, and we might, of course, start to move toward the upside probably for Bitcoin. But unless, of course, that the oversold area is gonna dive deeper inside the oversold area, and that, of course, is gonna lead to a very low prices, meaning the wave 3 that it might unfold, of course, in our scenario, so we gotta be careful from this as well. So this is regarding the RSI. On the daily. If we go to the weekly as well, on the weekly we have a very clear divergence for the bearish. It's a big huge one, and that is of course a signal and a warning here, of course, that this bull run has finished and we have to be careful with it. A very huge one. We see even double one here in the top. Also the indicator shows it as well here. And of course, so we might see, of course, a wave C. This is what I'm talking about here. The wave C that it might unfold as ABC expanding flat. And of course, after having a wave 1 here, wave 1, 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, and a C expanding flat, wave 2, and then moving towards the upside for a new bull run for Bitcoin, meaning the 70K is very likely for Bitcoin as a small bear market here. Yep, so that is regarding RSI. Let's move to the MACD. So on the MACD for the weekly as well, we can see that the signal and the MACD line here are, of course, in conversions in a bearish cross, which are, of course, starting to create kind of like a bear market. And we see as well, of course, the volume here, the histogram, start to show some momentum for the bearish. So we gotta be careful. This might unfold, of course, at least some red here. It's not necessarily to take the same amount here, but even if it goes somehow like this, this might be more than enough, of course, to bring us for our bear market in a wave C here. You can see clearly as well that the volume here, or the histogram momentum for the bulls, is done and finished. As you can see, we have a lower momentum than before, and here we start to see the bears momentum is increasing. We might see, of course, this is lowering down right now, but even with this one lowering down, we might get, of course, a wave C here and then moving towards the upside later on. On the daily, we can see the MACD and the signal line are open for a bearish still, and we're looking here for lower potentially. And after, of course, having a bearish cross there, we might still see, of course, some rebound here for the daily, but still, of course, not yet clear with this. We need, of course, some bullish cross here to see at least, unless, of course, this is gonna simply unfold the wave 3 towards the downside directly, and that we might see, of course, continuation for this volume increasing for the bearish. Now, if we move to the 4 hours chart, on the 4 hours chart, we see, of course, the bullish cross here starting to unfold towards the upside. We see as well that the volume for the bulls here was increasing, while the bears is still, of course, the same. I don't see yet a very strong signal, of course, for the bullish here, but still, of course, we need anyway a wave 2, smaller one for a 1-2 here, or a big one for a big 1-2, and then dropping towards the downside. So understandable if we are looking for a little bit of green right now for Bitcoin. This is regarding the 4 hours. The 1 hour chart, well, the 1 hour chart is not really looking great for a big wave 2 here, but it looks fine for a smaller wave 2 here, where we might see, of course, a potential A, B, and a C, and then dropping down for lower later on. Now, if this is gonna move for higher, it can be a possibility, but anyway, for a massive wave 2, you still need even much more than one round here on the MACD for the 1 hour chart. Yep, so that is regarding the MACD. If we take a look also at the KGT, on the KGT, the 3-minute chart shows here, of course, a potential of convergence with the bearish signals. We have a bearish signal here, of course, in convergence with the price, and it is too early even, meaning, of course, the pressure is very huge here with the bears, and I believe that a little bit higher can unfold even a stronger signal in bearish here in convergence, which it might bring us back down, of course. So I believe if this is your third 1-2 here, and ABC is very likely a smaller wave 2, and then start the drop toward the downside. Yep, so these are the possibilities for the KGT here. And of course, the buy signal is simply, of course, not necessarily to be a very buy signal. It means simply, of course, that we might see higher prices here. It would be, of course, much more clearer when we get a new signal here in divergence, yes, with the price. Now we see this 3D line, of course, that it is going in divergence, and we see, of course, higher prices, which is your wave C here, can be unfolding. But yeah, during this wave C, we might see, of course, the CVD line higher and getting more pressure in conversion again with with the bearish signal. So that's it for KGT. If we take a look also at the volume, for the volume, we can see, of course, the highest amount of volume here in this move downward, given, of course, over there with this wave 3, in case you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which it can be here, of course, a signal that you might be in a leading diagonal towards the downside. And we see, of course, the volume start to move downward here with the last wave. And that means, of course, that this wave has finished over there. We see another volume here for the bulls, that it might move toward the upside. We're still looking potentially here for a wave C and then moving toward the downside. On the 4 hours chart for the volume as well, it is the same. We see the highest amount of volume in the wave 3 here. Sorry, even with the wave 1, actually, on the 4 hour chart, it collects most of the volumes in there. And that means, of course, this is a confirmation that you get here a leading diagonal, because you see, of course, wave 1, wave 3, and then the wave 5 exactly moving, of course, inclined here. And that means, of course, this is a leading diagonal here unfolding with a volume for the green here. We see, of course, a little bit higher. I'm expecting, therefore, definitely whether we are in an ABC smaller wave 2 or a bigger wave 2, and then we drop very massively towards the downside for Bitcoin. I'm out of bullish here, guys. Don't forget to watch the deep analysis yesterday. We have invalidated most of the bullish scenarios here. The next bullish scenario lies around the 100K, which is, of course, can be a big ending diagonal here, but still, of course, too early to call it. So you have to watch it, of course, on the deep analysis. This might be your ABC for the ending diagonal. So we still need, anyway, at least ABC to be bullish again. Yep, so these are the possibility here on the daily for the bullish here. Also, there is nothing yet clearer. We can see the highest amount of volume exactly in the top for Bitcoin here, meaning, of course, that we might have finished over there an ABC here. Wave B expanding flat, very high amount of volume, as you can see. And this might drop us, of course, for lower the volume for the weekly as well. We can see it also in the highest here in the top as well, where we might be, of course, starting a bear market, which is the signal. Yep, so that was it for Bitcoin. In conclusion, of course, we're still looking for higher. I'm looking for ABC at least 1-to-1 fib level to be hit. So targets might be, of course, here your zigzag as 1-to-1 fib level 110K, and we take it from there. If we overshoot this, well, we might be in a formation for a bigger wave A here, B, and a C, which it might be playing here as a big wave 1 and then wave 2, and we drop down, of course, with a massive wave 3 towards the 67 and the 70K for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.